to Cindy's library, and today we're going to do the long-awaited video that I said I might do about Turner syndrome. Well, it's probably only been a couple months, but still it has been a while. So, Turner syndrome, everyone has a number of chromosomes. Two of them are the sex chromosomes. Females are generally XX and males are generally XY. Now, sometimes cell division does not happen perfectly and other things can happen. Turner syndrome is one of them. Specifically, females with Turner syndrome only have one X. So, what does that mean? It can mean a great many things. There are a few mostly standard things for Turner syndrome, but most of it depends. Because basically we're missing some genetic information, and exactly what that information is varies from person to person. But generally, females with Turner syndrome are of shorter stature than normal and make no female hormones. For my experience, I was diagnosed probably when I was about 7 or 8. Officially, I had a genetic test done to verify, although by that time the doctors were pretty confident. I mean, my mom started asking probably when I was about 4 or 5, when my next youngest sister, who was 2 years younger than me, was about as tall as I was. And so I was put on a regimen of growth hormone. I was fortunate to be able to get on a study for insurance purposes, but this meant first shots every other day, so 3 times a week basically, and then basically every day later on. And that continued for many years, specifically until I was about 15 and a half, when the growth plates of my bones closed because they wanted to get maximum growth. And it was at that time that I was finally put on female hormones. From about the age of 11 to 15 and a half, kids my age were aliens because I literally could not understand them. But fortunately, I was able to understand the birds and the bees and this thing called love, so to speak, after that. Other ways in which Turner syndrome has affected me personally. I had a coarctation of the aorta, which was one of the major valves leading, or one of the major lines leading from the heart on the left side. So basically there was a kink in there that was making my blood flow slow down more than it should have. And about the age of, I want to say, it was either 9 or 10, I had surgery to repair it because it was starting to get to the point where it could start impacting my life. Then, let's see, 2017, I was diagnosed with 3 aneurysms on my aorta. So 3 spots where it had bloated up and could pop. Not immediately, but certainly very worrying. So I had 2 more surgeries to repair those. First, the 2 on the backside, then about 5 months later, the one on the front side. And to this day, I have to see a cardiologist regularly. He's not entirely happy with the pressure differential on my left side compared to everything else, but it has held steady, and so we'll keep looking at it and hopefully it will stay steady for a long time. I also have a bicuspid valve on my aorta. That means there are 2 flaps, but normally people have 3 flaps. And they are known to be more likely to fail, but no sign of that happening for me yet. And it's possible it will not, but again, something have to keep an eye on. In my case, I don't seem to have some of the scholastic challenges some people with Turner syndrome happen to have. They can have issues with spatial recognition and things like that, but that doesn't seem to be my problem. I played with blocks and Legos growing up just fine. Math, to my chagrin, was my second highest scoring thing on the test they used to make us take every year. Reading comprehension being the first one, of course. So I've been fortunate in that way. And really, I'm very fortunate overall. I have to see doctors more frequently, but day to day, aside from taking medication, Turner syndrome doesn't seem to affect me that much. The biggest thing would be, while I did do growth hormone and I am taller than I would be, I'm 5 feet and 3/4 of an inch, and yes, I worked very hard for that 3/4 of an inch. And according to the growth charts, I would have been about 4'8" without the growth hormone. So it certainly seems to have done its work as far as that goes, but I've never seemed to be quite as fast or strong or quite as energetic as most people my age. Say I've probably a V4 engine living in a V6 world sometimes. At least that's sometimes how it feels to me. Maybe one reason why I enjoy reading so much, because it doesn't require a lot of physical energy. But that is Turner syndrome for me. Like I said, it can vary a lot between different girls and different women. The Turner Syndrome Society of America has more information. If you're just curious or you have a family member with Turner syndrome. And yeah, I think that about covers that. Oh, there is one other thing. It's not 100% certain that my alopecia is related to Turner syndrome. However, Females with Turner syndrome are 3 times more likely to develop an autoimmune disorder, of which alopecia is one. So, you do the math. Anyway, thank you for letting me ramble about this. Be happy to answer questions. Thank you for stopping by. I truly do appreciate it. So until next time, I hope we all stay safe and healthy. And as always, happy reading.